Hi, I'm Natalie with Eminence Organic Skincare and welcome back to In the Mix. And today I'm very excited to talk to you about a condition in skin that we get asked about a lot. It's called Keratosis Pilaris. So those of you out there that have this condition know exactly what I'm speaking about, but for those of you who don't, what Keratosis Pilaris is that you're gonna see these kind of like little patches of bumps on the skin, and you might see it on the outside of the arm, and sometimes we see it in the top of our legs as well. So I wanted to just help identify what that condition is, but also for any of you out there that are concerned with already having this condition, some little tips around it, what you're looking at, and how to identify the difference between if you're looking at Keratosis Pilaris versus maybe a milia, which is the little whiteheads, or it could be even a blemish or an acne that you have. So often these get mixed up, so I want to give you some clarity first. So what is Keratosis Pilaris is that it's a buildup of keratin. Now what is keratin? It's like one of the major proteins we have in our skin, and it's what we dominantly see when we look in the mirror every day, is we're looking at keratin. And we also see keratin in our hair and also in our nails. So this is a very popular and very important protein to think about. So with Keratosis Pilaris, what's happening is that there's a buildup of keratin that is happening over the hair follicle, and it's just creating a bump. And what happens is that it can look a bit red, it can be a little bit irritated, and we tend to see this more often than not in a drier skin type. So even if your skin type could be dry, but even if we start thinking about, let's say, our environment. Maybe our environment is a little bit drier and causing the skin to become drier. We may see this condition manifest itself. Now what about milia? Milia is actually a buildup of dead skin cells also, but maybe just underneath the surface of the skin. It may not be directly related to the follicle itself. And it can occur a little bump, and we might see a bit more of a discoloration. Maybe the yellow isn't, well, it's a little bit more of an off-white color, may not look as healthy in the skin. So we're gonna see like a little dome over the top. So it means skin is covering it, covering over that condition. And then with acne or blemishes, so we do see these occasionally on our own skin. This is actually a little bit deeper. So this, what happens there is you get dead skin plus some bacteria that can kind of be manifesting itself inside the hair follicle, and that can lead to bacteria problems, which would then give you a blemish or a breakout. So that's kind of a way to identify the differences of what's happening to the skin and what you might be looking at. And so from there, it's like, well, how do I manage it? How do I make sure I can, maybe minimize it? Because if it is a condition that is recurring due to the environment or your skin type, it may take a little bit longer for you to minimize that appearance. But I've also can tell you that not all of us will have that condition for a long period of time in our life. It might just happen in pockets in our time. We might get it at one point in our life and then never see the condition again. So what are we trying to do? If we really think about what the condition is, it's like kind of cover it. So what we should be thinking of is let's try to lift off that cover, off that Keratosis Pilaris condition, so that we can minimize the effect and hopefully reduce maybe some of that redness that we do see also because the skin is dry. So let's begin there. So I'm gonna maybe go with things to avoid. So let's start there. So how do I avoid making this condition worsen? So look at, remember I said about dry skin? So obviously, moisturize. So make sure we have lots of hydration and moisturizer. And I did mention that the arms and the legs are little locations we see it the most. And so a body lotion would be really great. And then of course you can look at exfoliation as well. So we can talk about a body scrub that you can do regularly at home in the shower, or just take with you as you need and just work on that direct area. If you just want to do it at the sink, that's completely fine as well. Another thing some of us don't think about is our clothing. Sometimes clothing, because it's a little bit tighter or there's friction involved. So I know all of you out there, so if you do see the keratosis on the leg, especially in the upper part of the leg on the thigh, you may want to tuck away those tighter jeans that you have for a little while and wear some looser fitting clothing because obviously the friction is a bit tighter, and then it can cause a little bit of rubbing, and then and cause a bit, I guess, to flare up would be a good way to look at it. So those are just some little things to avoid to make things a little bit easier. And now let's just talk about, well, what kind of products could I use at home to really help minimize this all together? So as I mentioned, so let's start with a step type of program. Today I've just pulled out the Stone Crop Revitalizing Body Scrub because it's probably like one of my favorite ones to be using. I love how fresh it is, especially with the warmer months approaching. And it's got a little bit kind of like a foaming kind of action to it. So I really feel like it gives a really good deep cleanse, but it is with one of our signature scents and product ingredient, which is Stone Crop, and we know how much we love that one. So this is how you would begin. You could do it directly in the shower. Or as I mentioned, you can take a small amount and just at your sink, you can do the little, especially if it's just maybe affecting the top of your arm, you can just do little circular motions and then just rinse it off with a warm towel. So this doesn't have to be in the shower. Then you want to follow with a moisturizing treatment. Okay, so remember we got to remove the outside layer, and then we want to then punch in all that moisture so that we can help manage the condition a little bit more. So I've got 3 options I want to share. Most of you know that we have beautiful facial oils, and in particular today I pulled out the facial recovery oil. Primarily it is part of our biodynamic collection, meaning that it's going to be very, very gentle, even for the most uber of sensitive skins, which Keratosis Pilaris, just hearing really what we're looking at and the condition itself, can be a bit sensitive. So we want to maybe we want to be mindful that the ingredients and the product we're using is going also to be gentle. So again, no different than how you would use the facial recovery oil for your face. You'd only need 1 or 2 drops. Warm it in your hands and just press it onto the area of concern. Second is that you can go in for another biodynamic product, which is a huge favorite. I know this one gets a lot of reviews, especially in particular for this condition we're speaking of today. And it is our Quince Nourishing Body Lotion also from the biodynamic collection. This is highly concentrated, so you only need about 1 or 2 pumps, and it's perfect for localizing areas on the body. So highly recommend this one as well. Super gentle and super thin, so it's lotion-like, so it's not going to feel heavy or thick. So if you do prefer that type of texture, definitely go for that one. And then the last one, but not the least one, is that we have our gorgeous Mangosteen body lotion. And I've pulled this one up because it's a little bit more of a 2-in-1 type of action product. It has a gentle way to lift, so it's got a natural exfoliant in it as well, non-granular, so it's going to be very, very smooth, and it's fast absorbing. That's another reason why I like it, is that it's not going to leave any residue on the skin. So you would just literally do your little exfoliation, remove that, and then you would apply one of these 3 moisturizing care afterwards. So I hope that helps a lot, identifying a little bit more what this issue is and concern in skin. So some key identifier again, remember that Keratosis Pilaris is a condition in skin. It's more in a patch environment. So as I mentioned, it might cover a larger surface like your top of your arms and the top of your legs. And it is a cover of the keratin. So the keratin is trapped underneath and it's creating these bumps that can also look red because the skin is drier. People who are drier skin types tend to be more vulnerable to this condition. What are some causes? Obviously, or some things you can avoid. Remember, it's like tight clothing, make sure there's that friction in there, be a little more comfortable. And then of course, keeping that moisture really powerful in the skin is also going to be of high benefit. And then exfoliation and deep moisture of your preference, and prefer something for a little bit more sensitive skin. And that's all there is to it. So I really hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Keratosis Pilaris today, and hopefully helping some of you out there that are dealing with this condition. I'm Natalie with Eminence Organic Skincare for another In the Mix. And as always, if you want to see more of these, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you hear future videos that are coming up. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.